We are off and running. So, good afternoon, everybody. This is Tara, and I am here with Doug Stahlbaumer, who is a small business owner. I say that, but Doug does a lot of stuff. So, if you combine them into one, he wouldn't be a small business owner. He's going to talk about how his business has managed to survive um, the safe at home order and the social distancing and all of that stuff, and how he's been supporting his clients and his employees. And he's got a really unique situation. We'll get into that later on. But Doug, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and all that fun stuff.
Well, you made it sound wonderful. I've always wondered whether or not I had a colorful background or a checkered past. I guess you can define it however you want, but yeah. So I am, and I don't like using the words owner and boss and any of that. So you know that, but we are in healthcare operations. And so what we do is we serve hospitals, pharmacies, durable medical, pulmonologists all over the United States with our back-end services. We take care of their patients, we call their patients, we take care of the prescriptions, we do all the things that are necessary to keep everybody healthy in, I guess, as much of a sense as once the physician has set them on a plan of care, we make sure that that plan of care is taken care of and followed and initiated, and make sure that they're always doing what is necessary to be healthy. And so I've got a wonderful group of people that work with me. I almost said four. I apologize for that. But with me. That are some of the most caring individuals that you'll ever get. It's no stranger to you when you're in healthcare. The people that gravitate towards that field have a strong sense of emotional attachment to the human, to the person, to that. And so that creates a work environment that is one like no other I've ever been in. I've been doing this now for 26 years, I guess, something like that. Mm-hmm. But the whole COVID-19 situation, I had to move all, just for their physical safety. I took the precautions of moving everybody out into their homes the 20th of February. So goodness, already 2 months I've had everybody at home. And so one of the things that I have learned in this whole experience is that there's a whole lot more to taking care of their physical being than just making sure that they're physically safe. Mm-hmm. I have found out that the smile, the conversations around the water cooler, the birthday parties, the food days, the anniversaries. One of the things that, and you know this, but your audience doesn't, is that for the first year, I shouldn't say allow, but we bring in, if a mother has a baby, they're allowed to bring them to work for the first year. Builds that bond for the mother with them. Plus, I get to hold the babies.
So you spoil them too.
I get to spoil them. The only time I send them the other direction is when it's time to change your diaper. That's
of course.
Definitely not something that I enjoy doing. But yeah, I get to spoil them. One of my manager, I've been with her through all three of her children and gotten to be part, and I'm honored to say this, I've gotten to be part of her family. Her kids know me. They come in here. I don't have it up because I'm moving from one office to another, but I've got a whole wall of pictures that has been colored for me that has. So I'm kind of getting off the subject, but the point is that what I've found and what I've discovered is that their physical safety is just so much more than just it is one of the things, is just one aspect, the emotional security. We've had some Friday afternoon group chats on cell and things like that, just getting to see each other and getting to talk to each other, being able to tell each one of my coworkers that their life is safe, that I'm going to do what is necessary to make sure that they have a paycheck, and that, because they're scared. I'm scared. Everybody's scared. Everybody's, worried about what's going on. And that group mentality of all my people is very important. They want to be, they need that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I need that. It's just really big for me. I can't tell you how important it is for me to walk in the morning and have the good mornings. We hug a lot. We talk. I mean, I'm probably a human resource nightmare. but the hugs are important. They come to me, and I've been to their weddings and just everything. It's so important. So that's what I've learned, and I'm quite honored to be part of their families. So
That's awesome. So logistically for you, there was a whole lot of equipment and all of that, and making sure everybody had the adequate internet access and all of that to do what they needed to do. So how much time would you say that it took you to get all of that together so that you were literally the next morning able to get up and everybody's functioning the way that you needed them to for your business to run?
I'll let you know when I'm done.
So you're still in the process. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh no. It took us, we set upon a couple of different things as far as trying to get the technology. A lot of what we do is I don't want to say that I was smart about it, but because we serve patients, we've had to have redundancies in place. So that if we had a tornado, we could immediately be off-site. If we had a breakdown, if we had power, we couldn't allow that to be something that stood in the way of taking care of patients. So we always had that redundancy. So it was a lot easier for us to gravitate out and move into our homes and move them into their homes. That being said, printing, it's an issue. I actually have them, emailing stuff back and forth, and then we've got a shared server, a SharePoint, where we're able to put something in, and so somebody will print to the shared side, and somebody else will mail it, print it, and mail it. I have sent several text messages out to the group to tell them, how wonderful they've done, just to keep their emotional spirits up. Just to make sure that everybody knows that they're doing well, that they're doing a great job. So, and I mean that I'm not just trying to puff them up.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a great job. The other thing is that we are dealing with patients and customers. I've had a few of my customers that can't pay their bills because right now doctors are not seeing patients. Some doctors' offices have literally closed their doors.
Hmm.
We have a telemedicine solution, but that's not helping everything. But they've asked to not be able to pay for that month, and we grant that. That's great. That's wonderful. Catch up when you can. But everybody is carrying around something all the time, an issue, something is going on in their life, something is hurting a family member. Everybody has a situation, so you're always supposed to be nice to them anyway. But in particular, at this time in our world, it's even more important to
Hmm.
step back and say, give them a breath, give them a moment, give them an opportunity. And I think that's been, um, important. I've learned a lot about a few of my coworkers, that they're going through some difficult times, more so than if they were sitting down the hallway from me, and have reached out. So that's the big thing. Like I said, is the actual physical, the networking, the phones, all of that. I have voice over IP. I've got all those fancy tools to do all that.
Hmm.
I think the biggest part, and I had a friend, and it might even been you, that said that they wanted to change us from social distancing to physical
Hmm.
distancing, because the last thing I want to do is distance myself from you socially. That's not what I want. That's why you and I talk. That's why I talk to other people. It shouldn't be called social distancing. It should be physical distancing. At this time is a time where we should be collectively talking. We should be collectively pulling ourselves together and supporting each other. That's what this time is about. So
Definitely. So I don't know if you mentioned it, but I know this, that you are relocating offices right now. And so in the midst of all of this, you have had to get the office packed up and
yeah.
moved to another location. So how difficult was that? And um, did anybody volunteer to come in and say, I'm going to come in and help pack, simply because that's a huge task to move an entire office.
I didn't ask anybody. I have one gentleman. He is my best friend's son, and he has been here working just round the clock, doing a spectacular job.
Hmm.
Um, my son has come in and helped the last couple of days
Hmm.
because of the things that require two people. But no, I haven't asked anybody to come in. We did go over to the new location, and that was, I believe, Monday. Yeah, Monday. And everybody got a tour, and everybody got a chance to look around, and everybody got a chance to pick out their offices.
Hmm.
And I've been here for 10 years now, and it's in a bank, and it's comfortable, it's nice, air conditioner works, heat works, and everything like that. But we don't have the creature features. We can't open our windows. Everybody went over there, and one of the first things I showed them was, this is how the windows open.
It's the little things.
The
It's the
little,
little things.
little things.
Oh
And
my gosh.
telling you, they all were like, this is spectacular.
That's great.
You've got to see the building. And um, actually, that was in my text, or actually it was on my instant message. I was texting to one of my coworkers, and she wasn't there. I'm sorry, that's my instant message coming up. um, her statement was that she had to go out to rehab, and she said, the virtual tour. I looked at the place. It looks really good. And I said, it's very comfortable. I said, like a home. And she says, I could tell that on the virtual tour. And I said, churches are buildings, houses are structures. You have to add the people to make them home.
So when is your official move to your new location?
I don't know. I haven't decided. It won't be until I can guarantee that everybody will be safe. I don't want to make the call, and we have had thus far in our 20-some employees, we have had 3 people that have been touched by this virus. We actually had a death yesterday of one of our employees' mother-in-law. Mm-hmm. So it's touched us. 3, just like I said, in just our little group here, it's touched us. And until I can 100% guarantee that they're going to be safe, that they're going to be protected, and that I'm not going to do anything to harm them or their families, we won't return to the office. It's just not worth that. We'll continue with our group texts, and we'll continue with our physical distancing until such time that I can guarantee that they're happy and healthy and going to stay that way.
Absolutely. So do you anticipate, I know some businesses are putting in like hand sanitizer stations and all that stuff. Do you anticipate even after, the distancing and all of that has been lifted, do you anticipate just making that a natural part of?
That's a wonderful question. And the answer to that is I didn't even think about that. I'm going to write that down on my pad here, I've been watching the news, trying to gather all the information. I mean, it's my obligation. It's my responsibility. I feel like I've got an obligation to these people to do the best that I can possibly do to make sure that everything is always right with them. And so I've been reading voraciously. I've been watching all the news, doing everything that I can. And the one word that keeps popping up that bothers me is the new normal. As a hugger, as a person that feels the necessity of physical or not physical, but social interaction, I don't know how to do that. How do we move into that? And is that, if that's the new normal, then I'm going to have to find something to counteract that. I don't know. That's a great question.
I think a lot of people find themselves in that position. I mean, I work with kids, and I'm a hugger because they're huggers. And I haven't really reconciled that until you said it just now. I don't know what our new normal is going to be, because I video with them every week and we interact, but there's still that physical aspect that's missing. And most of them, will give me a side hug just before they go back to class or whatever. And I hadn't even thought about it until just now. I don't know how. I know having the conversation is necessary, but even then, I still don't know if that's something that a lot of them, since they are so young, are going to be able to understand as the new normal.
Yeah. And, everything that is in our past makes us what we are today. And, when I see you, I give you a hug. That's what we do. I can't I can't find it within myself to be afraid of hugging you when I see you. I can't be afraid, and I don't know that I could bring myself to that.
Hmm.
Um, so, great question. Stay tuned for the answer. If you solve it, call
I don't have it.
me.
I simply don't. And I've been in your office, so I know the interactions that you all have. It's a family environment. And maybe that's a conversation you all need to have on one of your group conversations is how do we
Yeah,
go from here? And it's not a the one thing that I really appreciate about your company and other interactions that I've had is that people understand. It's not a um, I don't want to interact with you. I don't want to have physical contact with you because it's a negative thing. It's a safety thing. I care about you and I care about me because we don't know. And that's the thing that makes it so scary is there's so much we don't know about this that people are willing to err on the side of caution, which is a great thing simply because you don't know. You could be asymptomatic and be giving it to everybody that you hug. And then, I don't think I personally could live with that kind of guilt simply because, you know,
and I agree. I mean, that goes back to my answer about when will people come back. I'm not willing. I'm not willing to risk that. I just I'm not. If it takes me having to drive to each person's house in a mask and pick up their printing and mailing and everything to keep them from having to go out to be safe, that will be done. That's all there is to it. I've got a wonderful manager who is taking care of sending and ordering things online and have them sent to people's houses and I just um, the babies that we have here, I
hmm
just I can't allow one of them to be harmed.
absolutely,
And so
absolutely.
that,
So
that
I haven't asked anybody this question, but I feel like your situation would probably be one of the best to start. What does um, not the norm, but what is after physical distancing and all of that look like? Your first day where everybody's able to come back in the office, what does that look like? What do you guys do?
probably just sit around and talk and catch up. We won't get anything done. We'll just sit around and talk.
Mhm.
Like I said, we had a tour that was supposed to be just everybody picking out their offices on Monday, and it turned into all of us sitting at the front. You've been to a family reunion where you sit there and you just linger on, and and you start saying your goodbye, knowing that you have to be gone 2 hours later
Mhm.
because it takes 2 hours to get out. It was like, okay, guys, this was only supposed to be a half an hour, and an hour and 45 minutes later, we're still sitting. Oh, by the way, did you hear about? Oh, and so it's going to be reuniting with close friends. It's going to be reuniting with people that I care about. It's going to be probably more of that than anything else. So perhaps we'll,
Probably a national uh, after COVID holiday celebration.
well, one of the things that actually just came to mind, and that is perhaps we should have a pre-work get together and sit around and talk,
Mhm.
so that there's no worry about, oh, well, who's going to get that phone or who's going to do this. Just invite everybody and have a picnic or have just a day to just come
Mhm.
in, you know sit down and relax and be um, and just be us, be people before we're coworkers. um, might
I
be
like that.
so.
I'm writing that down. I like that. Be people before coworkers. I'm gonna have to share that one. That yeah, I'm liking that one because I mean, there's a whole the tribe. We've been plotting um, getting together, but it's not easy because there's so many of us and family and all of that kind of stuff. But the idea was given that you could like go to the library parking lot and park your vehicles and just sit in your vehicles in a circle and get some physical safe physical distancing going on. And so we've considered that, but I like the idea of just being people before being anything else. And for us, we haven't decided what our first face to face is going to look like. We've been throwing ideas around. We keep sharing pictures and videos and all these memes and things of what we're going to be like. And I have no idea. I see all these movies with these huge celebrations and music and all of that kind of stuff. And it feels like that's what's going to happen for a lot of people.
Yeah. And again, you're giving me all kinds of food for thought because I really hadn't considered, the after. How are we going to handle this after? How are we going to, I'm so focused on, what we're doing now and when we are going to be back together. I had not yet considered the what we're going to do
Mm-hmm.
when we get back together. I think that's going to play a big part in how we rejoin as well.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen each other for a long time. We talk instant message back and forth, but um, that's not enough. That's even the Zoom meetings that we've had. We've played Zoom bingo and different things along that line. Goofy stuff to try to keep the closeness back together. But once we get back together, I actually think we're going to be better than what we were before. I honestly think that we're going to be a better group of people. So I'm anxious. I'm anxious for that.
I agree. I agree. So we've got a couple of minutes. Are there any parting words that you, as a business owner with a family who are they're more like family than they are employees or coworkers? So are there any parting words that you want to give to everybody that's going to be watching this later on?
Not really. I mean, I guess the biggest thing is be kind, be gentle, be considerate. I mean, I'm emotional about this. I know they're emotional about this. I know that they're scared. So I guess I'm going to treat the reentry back into working kind of like Connecticut beach water. You move in slowly. You don't just dive in. It's gonna be a wade back into this, and there's gonna have to be a re-engagement period. There's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be, and don't expect them to just jump. They have been through a lot.
Yeah.
Some of my mothers that have kids, they've been homeschooling. They've been trying to juggle. How do you get food? How do you do that safely? How do you keep your kids occupied? And I think just be gentle, be considerate. We're always supposed to be that way, but now more than any time, we need to really be a human race. I think that's your word, isn't it? That's one
There
you
you
keep
go.
telling me is we're
There you
human.
go. There you
So
go. I like that. Well, thank you. That was painless. I promised it would be. And I'm going to post this. So, you guys, later this afternoon, the other male of the Tribe for Life, Ashley, is going to be talking about IT stuff. He actually did not finish working until 2 o'clock this morning because he had a technical thing that was going on. I don't even want to know what it was. But stay tuned. You're going to be hearing from him later on this afternoon. But thank you, Doug. We're going to be talking, of course. So I will end our recording and then get ready for my next webinar. There you go. Thanks, Doug.
I